They spit in his face. They mocked him with a purple robe and a crown made of thorns pressed into his skull until blood ran down his forehead. They slapped him, lied about him in court, twisted his words into accusations of treason. His closest friends, the ones who swore they'd die with him, ran into the night and pretended they'd never known him. His own people, the nation he came to save, stood in a crowd and screamed for his execution while a murderer walked free. And Jesus never lost his peace. Not once. Not a flash of rage. Not a bitter word thrown at his betrayers. Not even a defensive argument when he had every right to set the record straight and expose their lies. He stood before Pilate in a silence so complete, so settled, so utterly untroubled that even the Roman governor was unnerved by it. How is that possible? We struggle to stay calm when someone cuts us off in traffic. We lose our composure over a rude comment at work, an unfair criticism, a friend who didn't text back when we needed them. We replay conversations for days, sometimes weeks, rehearsing what we should have said, nursing wounds that should have healed long ago, fantasizing about the perfect comeback that would finally put them in their place. And yet, here was a man facing the ultimate injustice, the ultimate betrayal, the ultimate public humiliation. And his spirit remained absolutely, impossibly untouched. This wasn't suppression. Jesus wasn't stuffing his emotions down, white-knuckling his way through the crucifixion. This was something else entirely. This was a peace so deep, so rooted, so anchored in something beyond the circumstance that nothing external could disturb it. And here's what stops me. He said we could have it too. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. His peace, the same quality of unshakable calm that carried him through Gethsemane and Golgotha. He offered it as a gift, not something we have to manufacture, something we receive. But if that's true, why do most of us live so far from it? Why does anger still hijack our days? Why do offenses still replay in our minds at 3 in the morning? Why do certain people still have the power to ruin our mood with a single sentence? There's something Jesus understood about peace that we've missed. Something that transforms it from a feeling we hope for into an anchor we carry. And when you see it, everything about how you respond to difficult people begins to shift. The mistake most people make is treating peace as the absence of conflict. If the situation is calm, I'll be calm. If people treat me right, I'll respond right. If nothing goes wrong today, I won't be upset today. But that's not peace. That's just favorable circumstances. That's your mood being held hostage by factors completely outside your control. Real peace, the kind Jesus carried, operates independently of what's happening around you. It's not a response to good conditions. It's a foundation that remains solid regardless of conditions. It's an anchor dropped so deep that surface storms can't move you. Paul understood this. Writing from a Roman prison, chained to a guard, uncertain if tomorrow would bring release or execution, he penned these words to the Philippians. "The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Notice what he says. Peace guards. It's not passive. It's not just a nice feeling when things go well. It's protective. It functions like armor around your heart and mind, actively deflecting what would otherwise penetrate and wound you. But here's the part we miss. Peace only guards you if you stay behind its walls. The moment you step out, the moment you engage with anger, the moment you pick up the offense and examine it from every angle, you've left the protection. You've walked outside the fortress and handed your enemy a weapon. This reframes everything about provocation. When someone tries to get a reaction out of you, they're not just being rude. They're testing your defensive perimeter. They're probing for a gap in your armor. And every time you react, every time you clap back, every time you let their words hook your emotions, you've revealed a breach. But every time you stay calm, you're sending a different message, not to them, to yourself, to the spiritual realm. You're declaring, "My peace is worth more than this moment of satisfaction. My stability matters more than proving my point. What God has given me is more valuable than what you're trying to take." The Greek word Paul uses for peace is eirene. It doesn't just mean tranquility. It carries the idea of wholeness, completeness, nothing missing. When you walk in eirene, you're not lacking anything that someone else can provide. You're not dependent on their approval, their respect, their fair treatment. You're already complete. And from that completeness, nothing they do can truly diminish you. Jesus told his disciples something striking. It is impossible that no offenses should come. Not unlikely. Impossible that they won't happen. Offense is coming. People will hurt you. They will misunderstand you, betray you, lie about you, dismiss you. This is guaranteed. But then he continued, "But woe to him through whom they come." The offense itself isn't the issue. The issue is what you do with it. Here's what I've come to understand. Offense is not a test. It's a trap. And the difference matters enormously. If offense were a test, the goal would be to pass it, to prove you can handle it, to demonstrate your spiritual maturity. But a trap works differently. A trap's only goal is to catch you, to snare you, to keep you stuck in one place while life moves on without you. That's exactly what offense does. It keeps you replaying the moment, rehearsing the conversation, reliving what hurt you, imagining what you should have said, fantasizing about vindication. And while you're stuck in that loop, you're not present to your actual life. You're not available to the people who love you. You're not open to what God might be doing right now. The enemy knows he can't steal your peace directly, so he baits you into giving it away. And the bait is always the same. Someone did you wrong, and you have every right to be angry about it. That's the hook. You have every right. And it's true. You probably do. The offense was probably real. The hurt was probably legitimate. You're probably not making it up or being oversensitive, but having the right to be angry and exercising that right are two different things. You can be justified in your offense and still be trapped by it. You can be completely correct about what happened and still lose your peace over it. Forgiveness isn't about pretending the hurt didn't happen. It isn't about excusing what was inexcusable or saying it's okay when it wasn't okay. It's about refusing to let the hurt own you. You release it, not because they were right, but because you want your freedom back. You let go, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to stay chained to someone who hurt you. Because here's the truth that changed everything for me. As long as you stay offended, you stay bound to the person who hurt you. They live rent-free in your mind, taking up space that belongs to better things. They control your emotional state from a distance, sometimes without even knowing they have that power. They affect your sleep, your mood, your relationships with people who actually love you. Forgiveness cuts that cord. Not for their sake, for yours. Because peace cannot coexist with offense. They occupy the same space in your heart, and one will always crowd out the other. You have to choose which one stays. We live in a culture that celebrates reaction. Speak your truth. Stand up for yourself. Don't let anyone disrespect you. The whole internet runs on outrage, on clapbacks, on verbal takedowns that go viral because someone got destroyed in the comments. And we've absorbed this into our souls without realizing it. We feel weak if we don't respond. We feel like we're losing if we stay silent. We've been trained to believe that strength means having the last word, and peace means letting people walk all over you. But Jesus modeled something completely different. When they accused him falsely, he could have defended himself. He had the words, he had the truth, he had the power to call down legions of angels. Instead, he stood in silence so profound that Pilate marveled at it. Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you. And Jesus gave no reply. That wasn't weakness. That was the most concentrated strength in the room. Because he knew something we forget. Stillness doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you're protected. It means you've surrendered the outcome to someone bigger than yourself. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Some battles are meant to be won through restraint, not reaction. Through surrender, not striving. Through letting God handle what you could never resolve on your own. I think about a man I knew who spent years in bitter conflict with a family member. Every holiday gathering was a battlefield waiting to erupt. Every phone call was tense with unspoken resentment. He kept trying to win, to prove his point, to get the other person to finally admit they were wrong and he was right. It never worked. The harder he pushed, the more the other person resisted. The more eloquently he argued, the deeper the division grew. He was convinced that if he could just explain it clearly enough, forcefully enough, they would finally see the truth. The breakthrough came when he finally stopped. Not because he suddenly agreed with the other person, not because they apologized or changed their behavior, but because he realized his peace was worth more than being right. He chose stillness over another pointless argument. He chose to let God fight what he couldn't win on his own. The relationship didn't heal overnight. The other person didn't suddenly apologize or acknowledge their fault. But something shifted inside him. The constant anger that had been burning for years gradually dissolved. The obsessive replaying of old arguments stopped. He found a freedom he hadn't felt in a decade, and it had nothing to do with the other person changing. It had everything to do with him finally letting go. That's what happens when you stop fighting for control. You start watching God work in ways you never could have manufactured. And here's what struck me about his story. His calm eventually spoke louder than his arguments ever had. The other person noticed. Not immediately, but over time. The same man who used to escalate every conflict was now absorbing offenses without reacting. And that unexplainable change opened a door that years of fighting had kept sealed. Your peace is a witness. Sometimes, the greatest sermon you'll ever preach won't use any words at all. So, what does it actually mean to never be angry or bothered by anyone? It doesn't mean you stop feeling. Jesus felt deeply. He wept. He grieved. He experienced the full weight of human emotion in Gethsemane. Peace isn't the absence of feeling. It's the presence of an anchor that holds you steady when feelings surge. It means that your inner world is no longer controlled by external circumstances. People can still hurt you, but they can't own you. Situations can still be painful, but they can't steal your stability. You've rooted yourself in something deeper than the moment. It means that offense loses its grip on you, not because you're suppressing it or pretending you don't feel it, but because you've learned to release it before it takes root. You recognize the trap for what it is and consciously choose not to step into it. You forgive quickly, not because it's easy or because the offense was small, but because you've learned the cost of holding on. It means your identity is no longer tied to being right or being respected by everyone. Pride is the fuel that keeps most anger burning. They disrespected me. They didn't acknowledge me. They didn't give me what I deserved. They treated me like I was nothing. But when pride dies, peace lives. You stop needing to win every argument. So what does it actually mean to never be angry or bothered by anyone? It doesn't mean you stop feeling. Jesus felt deeply. He wept. He grieved. He experienced the full weight of human emotion in Gethsemane. Peace isn't the absence of feeling. It's the presence of an anchor that holds you steady when feelings surge. It means that your inner world is no longer controlled by external circumstances. People can still hurt you, but they can't own you. Situations can still be painful, but they can't steal your stability. You've rooted yourself in something deeper than the moment. It means that offense loses its grip on you, not because you're suppressing it or pretending you don't feel it, but because you've learned to release it before it takes root. You recognize the trap for what it is and consciously choose not to step into it. You forgive quickly, not because it's easy or because the offense was small, but because you've learned the cost of holding on. It means your identity is no longer tied to being right or being respected by everyone. Pride is the fuel that keeps most anger burning. They disrespected me. They didn't acknowledge me. They didn't give me what I deserved. They treated me like I was nothing. But when pride dies, peace lives. You stop needing to win every argument. You stop needing to be understood by everyone. You stop needing the last word. You care more about your spirit than your image, more about your relationship with God than your reputation with people. And here's what this reveals about God Himself. He is the source of this peace, not the circumstances. You can't manufacture this kind of stability through willpower. You can't think your way into it. It comes from connection to the one who carried it perfectly, the one who offers it freely. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Perfect peace, not partial, not occasional, perfect. And the condition isn't a calm life. It's a steadfast mind. A mind fixed on God rather than fixed on the offense. A heart that keeps returning to the anchor when emotions try to drag it away. Peter walked on water until he looked at the storm. The moment he shifted his focus from Jesus to the waves, he started to sink. That's exactly what happens with peace. You can't control how people act, but you can control where you look. And when your focus stays on Him, your peace becomes untouchable. Peace isn't something you wait for until life gets easier. It's something you protect right now, in the middle of the difficulty. You don't find it in a quiet room or a perfect relationship or a life where nothing goes wrong. You build it in the middle of chaos, when you choose stillness over reaction, surrender over control, forgiveness over resentment. You forge it in the very moments when everything in you wants to explode. Every morning this week, before you check your phone, before you scroll through the news, before you engage with the world and its endless provocations, ask yourself, am I anchored? Have I connected to the source of peace? Or am I about to walk into the day unprotected, exposed, vulnerable to whatever comes at me? And when someone provokes you, when the offense comes, and it will, pause before you react. Ask, is this worth my peace? Am I about to hand over what God gave me for a moment of satisfaction? Because here's what I've learned. The more you guard your spirit, the more like Christ you become. His unshakable calm wasn't a personality trait. It was the fruit of total trust in his Father. And that same trust, that same connection, that same peace is available to you, not as something you earn, as something you receive and protect. The world expects you to clap back, break down, or lose control. That's what everyone does. That's what's normal. But when you stay calm in chaos, when you absorb offense without reacting, when your peace remains steady while everyone around you loses theirs, people notice. They can't explain it. They may not even like it at first, but they see it, and it disturbs them in the best possible way. And that quiet strength, that unexplainable stability, that supernatural calm in the face of provocation, that's what sets you apart. That's what reveals who you belong to. That's what preaches without a single word. Your peace is your power. Guard it like the treasure it is. Let no one take it from you.